In our birth chart, the Black Moon Lilith is a point that represents the traits and qualities that we feel the most ashamed of. But these are also not only the traits we feel ashamed of, but it's also some of our greatest strengths and talents. However, this is more so indicated by the sign that Lilith is in. You also have Lilith in a house, and this indicates where this shame is going to show up the most for you. So in this video, I'm going to cover everything that you need to know about having your Black Moon Lilith in your 12th house in astrology. Hello and welcome back to the Be the Hero channel. My name is Isabelle and I help you understand who you are using personality typing and astrology. Now, straight out the gate, I'm going to admit I'm sorry. I have been gone for a solid week or more. I have not had the chance to film recently, and now I'm finally wrapping up this series on Lilith through the houses with Lilith in the 12th house. This has been probably now greatly anticipated due to how long it's taken me to film this video. So in this video, I'm going to cover everything you need to know about having your Black Moon Lilith in your 12th house, including what it means to have this specific placement, what Lilith is, and what the 12th house is. Now, before I dive in, hit the link in the description below to get your very own My Horoscope Made Me Do It hoodie or t-shirt, available now. Link is in the description below. These are seriously some of the most comfortable hoodies I've ever worn, and let the world know that you are into astrology and crazy like me by getting yours now. So, what is the Black Moon Lilith? Chances are, if you're someone like me, when I started learning about this aspect, I was extremely confused because I kept seeing people refer to Lilith as Lilith, and they were also referring to it as a black moon. Is it the same? Is it different? The short answer is you're watching the right video if you're concerned about knowing if you're watching about the right content. The Black Moon Lilith is a very popular aspect nowadays in our birth chart. It represents the traits and qualities we feel most ashamed of. However, there is more to Lilith than that. Some background on Lilith, to my understanding, is that Lilith was the first partner of Adam, and she was a very powerful and independent woman. In a way, she didn't really need Adam, and so this was threatening for Adam, and so what did they do? They got rid of her and replaced her with a much more passive Eve, who was much more compatible with Adam. So Lilith is, yes, these parts of us that we feel very ashamed of, but it's also some of our greatest strengths and talents. So overcoming our shame in our Lilith is vital for embracing some of our greatest strengths. However, the traits and qualities that we feel most ashamed of is more so has to do with the sign that Lilith is in. But not only do you have a sign that Lilith is in, you also have a house that Lilith is in. And this shows you where this shame is going to show up for you the most in life. There are 12 houses in astrology, and these reflect the 12 zodiac signs. These each represent a different area of our life. So an example, the first house is Aries themes. It represents our identity. The second house represents Taurus themes, and it represents our money. So etc., etc., etc. Each house represents a different area of life. The 12th house specifically is related to Pisces, and Pisces is the final step in the zodiac wheel. It's where we tap into our subconscious and tap into a higher frequency. We learn unconditional love and come back to wholeness. The 12th house in astrology, reflecting the themes of Pisces, is about our subconscious realm. Whenever we have a planet or point in our 12th house, we become more drawn towards keeping this reserved to ourselves. We can have a lot of subconscious programmings and subconscious beliefs and subconscious fears that we need to overcome related to that placement. So what does it mean to have your Black Moon Lilith in your 12th house? If you're someone who had a Black Moon Lilith in 12th house, you were likely in childhood someone who was generally reserved and kept to themselves, potentially. Maybe even a fearful child growing up. But you were someone who liked to be isolated. You enjoyed solitude. You love spending time in your mind. You love enjoying your thoughts. You love noticing your thoughts, and you would much rather do things on your own. However, somewhere along the way, you felt that society an authority figure, which could be a parent or a guardian of some sort, taught you that it is not okay to enjoy solitude. And so now you spend time or you avoid spending time in your mind as much as possible because you were triggered to believe that would lead to your abandonment. So now the 12th house Lilith is someone who has a lot of shame around basically mindfulness is how I like to think of it. The 3rd house and the 12th house show really different realms of our mind. And the 3rd house represents more of being conscious about the things we do on autopilot, whereas the 12th house represents the things that lie in our subconscious, the deeper thoughts, what lies beneath the surface. The 8th house has similar themes, but this has more to do with our emotional tendencies. So the 12th house really shows a lot about what our subconscious fears and desires are. And it really shows us what our subconscious patterns are. So someone with a Lilith in 12th house had a natural tendency to pay attention to thought, to get lost in thought even, or get lost in what they're doing in solitude. But they were taught and raised to believe that to do that is not okay. They're supposed to be more social. Don't enjoy solitude. Solitude is bad. Stop thinking so much. So now, this person has a natural tendency to notice their subconscious patterns and thoughts, to spend time in solitude and spend time in their mind, but now they believe that it's not okay for them to do so, and so they repress this desire. The thing is with Lilith is that it demands it be expressed. So if we do not embrace Lilith in the positive, it gets expressed in the negative. So for people who have a 12th house Lilith, in the positive, they're very introspective, make time to reflect, spend time in solitude, and just observe their own thoughts. But in the negative, these people become fearful and paranoid, constantly censoring themselves and trying to repress any fears that they have. And this leads to a lot of inner turmoil. It is a little hard to explain what exactly it means to have a Lilith in 12th house without knowing the sign it's in first, because this shows you what exact traits and qualities that lie within your subconscious that you feel ashamed of. So for example, if someone had a Lilith in 12th house, let's say in the sign of Aries, they're someone who has a desire to probably spend time in solitude and challenge themselves. They seek intensity. They also might have a lot of subconscious patterns and beliefs around independence. They might be someone who isolates themselves and becomes hyper-independent only to bounce back and try to merge with people. Overall, they just have bad beliefs around Aries energy, and they have to really connect to the positive side of Aries energy through solitary means, so to say. The same applies for Lilith in 12th house through any of the signs. But the point is, knowing the sign is just equally as important. So check out my series on our channel about Lilith through the signs to understand a little better, and leave a comment below and let me know what sign your 12th house Lilith is in. Overall, people with a Lilith in 12th house do have to do a lot of work with healing their relationship with themselves. So how exactly can the Lilith in 12th house do that? First and foremost, what I recommend every Lilith placement does, both the sign and the house placements, is reflect on your childhood and find that time or those many times where you felt that you were shot down or would have been somewhat quote-unquote attacked for your desire for solitude and introspection. Was there a time where you were judged by a peer, a teacher, or a parent for being introspective, spending time in thought, and they told you and made you feel like that was wrong, or you were lesser for doing so? Go back to that childhood version of yourself and comfort that child as the person you are now and tell them, it's okay to be this way. I love that you're introspective. I love that you think about these things. I love that you spend time in thought, and I support you for who you are. Secondly, on the more proactive approach, the Lilith in 12th house needs to work on recultivating their relationship with their subconscious again. If anyone has any strong 12th house placement, I see that as it's very important for them to spend time in solitude. So are you making time for solitude, Lilith in 12th house? Because if you're not, this is going to lead to issues. And after all, this is some of our greatest strengths. Lilith is not just our shame, it's also some of our greatest powers. So you have a gift for connecting to your subconscious more than anyone else. You are more aware of your subconscious beliefs and aware of your subconscious patterns than other people. And the more you tap into your relationship with yourself and spend time in solitude, noticing your thoughts, the more you inspire other people to become aware of their own thoughts and break their patterns as well. This is your gift to embrace in this lifetime. So, Lilith in 12th house, spend time in solitude, get in touch with your thoughts. Journaling could be a really great practice for you to practice noticing and really becoming aware of your thoughts. Again, the 12th house is all about subconscious beliefs and patterns and fears. So noticing those and allowing yourself to process them is your journey as a Lilith in 12th house. If this video helps you understand what it means to have your Black Moon Lilith in your 12th house, let me know in those comments below. And while you're down there, make sure that you leave a comment below and tell me what sign is your Lilith in 12th house in, so then I can give you a little more information on what that means. Because like I said, it's really hard to explain what exactly it means to have your Lilith in your 12th house unless you know the sign it's in as well, because this shows you what you feel ashamed of, what energies you feel ashamed of. So let me know in those comments below. While you're down there, grab the free birth chart workbook to understand your soul's unique energetic imprint in the simplest way possible. This is great for astrology beginners and for people who simply just want to learn how to use astrology to their benefit. Trust me, you want to download this free workbook because you don't want to be like me. When I first got into astrology, I spent years, not months, years, just taking in information about my chart and doing nothing. The birth chart workbook is free, it takes less than 15 minutes to do the whole thing, and by the end you'll understand how to actually apply the knowledge and wisdom of just the basic aspects of your chart. Link is in the description below for that one. While you're down there, if you love workbooks and courses, then you need to grab the Making Mindfulness Fun bundle now, where you get access to all 30 of our workbooks and courses on mindfulness, astrology, Enneagram, and so much more for only $30. That's $1 per course per workbook. And in this bundle, you get our astrology workbooks, the full birth chart workbook, and you get our masterclass chakra healing course, which can be massively impactful for people who have a Lilith in 12th house. So check out the Making Mindfulness Fun bundle in the link in the description below, and you can learn more about it or get it now in that link. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. This wraps up my series on Lilith through the houses. Check out my playlist for more houses or Lilith in the houses, and for videos covering Lilith through the signs. Let me know in those comments below what you want me to film about next. What have I not filmed about in a birth chart? What do you want to hear about? What are you curious to know? Let me know in those comments below. Once again, my name's Isabelle, and from my heart to yours, namaste.